Hello, everybody! It is Wednesday! How we doing tonight? Hey, Kitty, how are you? How are you tonight? How are things in Illinois? Ooh, I forgot my other light. That's why I'm dark. I'm like, why am I dark? I have too many things to plug in nowadays on this set. I'm a much better one button kind of guy. There we go. That's better. Good to have you with us, everybody. How are things tonight, Kitty? I hope you're having a great night and that you had a marvelous Wednesday. It is Hump Day as we make the leap through midweek of week 36 or 37, depending on how you are counting. We are making it. Yes, we are. We're doing it. A little colder here today. It was not fun. I was home office today, and it was cold when I took Max out today. Took Max for a walk. Hey, Nebraska Angie is with us. How is Nebraska Angie? Great to have you with us today. I even think I texted with you today. That could have been yesterday, but I feel like I've texted with you today. Today's kind of a fog. I asked Cassandra if I could go take a nap. She said, it's showtime. It's showtime! No nap after dinner. No nap for you, was what she said. That's good. That's good. I'm glad to hear that, Kitty. I'm sorry to hear about the COVID situation, but that is what we are dealing with as a country. So you're literally not alone with that. But I am glad that people are shopping with a purpose and showing you their love with their wallets. So that is very good. It's hard to staff for, though, because you don't know whether you're going to be busy or completely dead. So it does make staffing decisions hard. But being multifaceted and working your staff so they're working on online things and getting things, whether that's videos or your website, and working all of that at the same time is important too. Hey, Julie Jankowitz is with us tonight. Hello, Julie. Was that unlabeled package that I received in the mail today, Julie, from you? I'll reach out to you. That seems like a package that might have come from you today. That had no labeling on it, but screamed, "Eat me! Eat me!" And it just sounded like something that came from Julie. But how else is everybody doing? Hey, Kelly in New Mexico is with us. Hello, Albuquerque. In the house. Good to have you with us, Kelly. I owe you an email too. Well, I haven't actually opened it. On the outside there wasn't a note. Okay, so hang on a second. There's a note in it. Am I going to need scissors? I'm going to need scissors. This is tough wrapping. Let's do an unboxing here, because unboxing is fun. Rebecca was kind of depressed that FedEx wasn't for her. She said, you've got mail and it said to refrigerate it. Let's unbox. Hang on a second. Ooh, it smells good. Hang on a second. They wrap well. I've been reading about it. I have been reading about it. a card in it. Oh, Julie, thank you. There's a card in it from Julie.
Oh, nice.
Everybody, I got my first Kringle.
Hi.
And I read on their website that you can have this with beer and ice cream. It's not just for coffee. And Julie says it does not have to be refrigerated, even though we've refrigerated it all day. Thank you so much, Julie. We are excited to have our first Kringle.
Kringle rookies there.
Huh?
The Kringle rookies.
We are Kringle rookies. We are Kringle rookies. We are Kringle rookies. And I've been thinking about your problem, Kelly, with the mic. And there's a setting. See, I do Facebook from my computer. My laptop, I have a Surface, an old Microsoft Surface, and it gives me the choice when I go in and do it to choose what camera and what microphone it's using. And I always choose to use the external, my special microphone here that I'm wearing versus the microphone on the device. So I don't know what it does that on the thing. Ooh, Rose, it is a good night to have a good night. Customer bring her homemade chocolate-covered raisin cookies tonight. Ooh. I wouldn't enjoy that, but all my people would. Nana and Cassandra would enjoy chocolate-covered raisin cookies. That sounds very good. Well, I am excited to Kringle. I am excited to Kringle later. I'm going to put these scissors away before I hurt myself, because I'm bound to drop them on my foot or something, having scissors out, but I am super excited about that. Thank you very much, Julie, for sending that our way. Really appreciate it. And excited to have it. Well, let's get things started tonight. Let's get things started. Sorry about that, Julie. Kelly, I'm sorry you've had such a problem with that, but that's what I use is, you know, and this thing, this Microsoft Surface that I use that I'm broadcasting on right now is an old Surface 2 Pro. I mean, I use this whenever I travel, and I use it for this, and we use it for email and stuff when we're doing something quick. You know, it's not our everyday computer, but it's got Windows 10 on it and everything else. And I probably spent $200 on this thing. And that was years ago. I mean, I bought it on, did I buy it on eBay? I forget where I bought it. I bought Rebecca's on eBay. Rebecca has one too. Yeah, so we have a couple of these Surface 2 Pros. Old edition, not the new ones that cost like $1,000 or $1,500. But yeah, I literally, when I bought Rebecca one, I spent like $200 on it. They come in, it comes in really handy and everything, and we love using it. And it's, huh?
Lightweight.
It's lightweight. It's got 2 cameras on it, and what did you say, Rebecca? Oh yeah, Rebecca, it has a Surface thing on it, so you can. It has a pen you can write like a tablet, like a pad of paper, and she uses it like that. Hey, Michelle, great to have you with us. But that's the tool we use for everything. And then I plug in this external microphone. Not an ad. Hashtag not an ad for Surface. And this external microphone was the one that Rebecca researched and I use it on whenever I'm interviewed on TV and everything. They really like it. Hey, Jennifer, how are you? And except for when the battery dies or I forget to plug it in to the Surface, it works really well. Yeah, this has been a really good for audio. And I can stand wherever. As you've seen, I've walked all over the place tonight, and you guys still have me.
Got like
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why we got that one.
Oh, Rebecca says this mic also works on smartphones, so I can send it to you. I'll send you the info on it, because Rebecca says it works on smartphones too. I will. I didn't go down and dig out the info on it, but she says it works on smartphones too, and that's why we bought this one. I was uninvolved except for approving the budget, which I didn't really have a lot of choice in.
I said, this is the mic you're getting, and you said, okay. Here's the credit card.
Ah, she said, this is the mic you're getting, and I said, okay, and she said, where's the credit card? But hey, I digress. That is our lesson today. Oh, hey, Michelle is with us. Great to have you here. Glad to have you here. Let's get this program started. I got stuff to cover tonight. Although I got stories to tell. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start things. Tonight, if you're following along, we are on page 174. 174 today. Good morning. It's okay to let your mind drift. Whoa! Cool drift, kid. That is our good morning. All right. We got a lot to cover tonight. Oh, it's Facebook. Facebook doesn't like the mic. The phone connects to it. So she has a phone, it connects to it, but Facebook isn't liking it. Is Live Producer a separate app? I don't know. Because I'm in Live Producer when I'm doing it on my computer. So we'll get Zuckerberg on the phone and see what we can find out. So I'm a little bit, I'm working from a scratch sheet tonight versus my normal printouts. Okay, well, Rebecca says I've used this one on my phone for lives before, although I don't remember it, but
You only did it a couple times at the beginning.
I did it a couple of times at the beginning, I guess. What do I know? So let's start with that. Why don't I have any printed sheets? Well, you saw the other night I had problems with blue and lots of blue streaks. And then I had a problem, then it was jamming, probably because of the blue streaks. And, I have what I consider a nice laser printer, a nice business laser printer. And so we have that. And, so today I called up Canon, it's a Canon printer. And, called tech support for help and what can I do with this? And I had the nicest guy that I worked with, and he's in Virginia Beach, Wayne, that I talked to today. And Wayne, walked me through a few things like normal tech support would do when you call any of our software vendors for the industry and get tech support. Wayne walked me through some stuff, and then he determined that no, we're not going to be able to fix it. And then he determined it was under warranty, and because we're a business, he's going to advance ship me a replacement printer. Now, this isn't an expensive printer. I think I may have spent like $300 on it. So, not for nothing. It's not one of the $49 printers, but it's it's a laser printer. And so he's going to send me one, and then I'm going to drop the one we have in Virginia Beach. Yes! He said it was cold in Virginia Beach today. That's where Wayne is, at Canon in Virginia Beach. And, so I'm talking to him, and then he's like, yeah, I'll ship you this one. And then you ship me that one back, and we'll include a label to ship it back. And I'm like, wow, this is really great. I really didn't expect that. I expected to be without a printer for weeks, or to have to buy a new one, because everything's so disposable these days. And, and then for my toner problem, he's like, oh, that's just bad, that's a leaky toner cartridge, he called it. a leaky toner cartridge caused that problem and everything. So he's like, that toner cartridge is bad. He's like, you probably bought an aftermarket toner cartridge. And I'm like, no, I buy original Canon toner, all the things. And he's like, well, do you happen to have a receipt for it? And I pulled up on the computer the receipt for purchasing it. Because I use my Neat scanner to keep me organized, so I had a receipt for everything. And I emailed him that, and he's like, okay, well, throw away the toner, and I'll send you another toner. I mean, the toner is $115 for the toner. So he replacing the machine. And what's more is he said, well, we missed the shipping cutoff for today, but you should have it Friday. So today is hump day, and I'm going to have my replacement printer on Friday. So I have to go a couple days without fancy printouts, but I'm going to have a new printer on Friday. And he said, hopefully the toner will be there at the same time. You know, in a worst case, the toner will be one day behind. I have extra toner. But, you know, isn't that great customer service? I mean, that is like unheard of customer service in today's, especially with technology printers. We love to hate them. And so I was like super impressed with that today. So, and he was a little whiny about how cold it was in Virginia Beach today. And I'm like, anything that ends in a beach, okay? It could be something beach, Alaska. And it's better even if it's cold. So, yeah, that was just a really amazing, you know, restores your faith in some of these companies. It restores your faith in throwaway technology, because so much of our technology today we just throw into a dumpster. And for our industry, which is all about recycling and rebuilding and redoing, to have technology that is fixable, I mean, that they're going to take care of, is really great. I mean, it makes me feel better that I have one of these printers now in all our locations. I mean, part of it is I like to standardize technology so that I have the same toner and I don't have to have different inks at every spot. And it just kind of sucks that this is the one I use in my office. But, you know, I was just really happy with that amazing experience. I mean, it's just, you don't have customer service like that again. Yeah, well, and he's been with Canon for 24 years. So, I mean, that again speaks to the company. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, somebody that, you know, you call in the customer service and he's like, well, I'm like, are you new? Or, you know, there's something you been, because he had to go get approval to do the toner and everything. And he's like, no, this is my I've been here nearly a quarter of a century. And, you know, that was really great. I mean, I was truly amazed with it and really happy. I can't speak enough about it and how great that was. So that was really nice today. Got to talk about the Wall Street Journal article on the PPP, because a lot of people have been, a lot of news media has been talking about it. So the Wall Street Journal did an article on businesses that got the PPP and have gone out of business. They focused on big loans, okay, partly because that's public information, okay, loans, larger loans are public information, the companies are public. Remember this summer, SBA made larger loans public. So they found 300 companies that accounted for some $500 million in PPP loans. 300 companies, $500 million, had filed for bankruptcy already and are no longer around, representing 23,400 employees. Okay. And, you know, part of it was arguing whether those companies should have gotten it in the first place. Some of it was arguing, or, you know, it's created a debate over who should or who should get one again if they offer one again. And it's a tough conversation. So for some, for 8 weeks, you kept 23,400 people on payroll, at least, okay, because most of these companies survived longer than that, but others didn't. Depends on the industry. If you're in the restaurant industry, if you're in the entertainment industry, okay, the fact that you got a PPP and kept people off of unemployment for 8 weeks, but then ultimately, because you can't have any entertainment or can't do movies or can't do, have your bowling alley to full capacity and such, is not a surprise that these are going out. What this really isn't doing is looking at, and we know that number will be big as well, the number of smaller businesses that have gone out. That didn't survive. There was one catering company that did $6 million last year and did $500,000 in sales this year. Okay, as a catering company, and they aren't going to survive. And that is it is sad. They didn't cause the pandemic, but not everyone can pivot and completely. And keep their business model afloat. So it is a challenging environment out there. It is it's hard. It is not easy, as you know, running things. So the Wall Street Journal article was very level-headed. The people that have analyzed the Wall Street Journal article and re-reported it, quoting stats from the Wall Street Journal article, have taken a more pointed viewpoint to make their point, whether that the PPP shouldn't have happened at all, that it was just a waste of government money. It has been one viewpoint. It's been very negative. Others have taken the viewpoint of that it wasn't enough, okay, and that way with the data. So, you can take numbers and go any direction you want, and there are people, the more negative side is getting more play in the news. So I did want to make you aware of that. We're still working on hopefully getting another PPP and other relief through Congress, and I will keep you abreast of that. We're not going to get into that tonight. TJ Maxx, our friends at TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and Home Goods, okay? Their third quarter, they were down as a company, okay? So TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, Home Sense, and they own one other brand now. I forget what that one is. Okay, their third quarter was down 3.2%. Overall, that's not bad. Same-store sales were down 5%. Okay, so total revenue for the company was down 3.2%. Same-store sales were down 5%. However, home sales at Home Goods were up 15%, and Marshalls and TJ Maxx, which make the bulk of the store count and the bulk of the inventory, were down 10%. Okay, which sort of mirrors what we see happening there. Hey, Sylvia, great to have you with us. The interesting thing, there's a couple of interesting things. Another interesting point in the Home Goods or the TJ Maxx companies thing is that their inventory is significantly lower this year versus last year. Last year, at the end of the third quarter, they were sitting on $6.3 billion in inventory. 6.3 with a B, billion dollars in inventory. This year, at the end of the third quarter, they're sitting on $5 billion. Okay, part of that is write-downs from the spring, okay, in old inventory. Part of that is supply chain. Supply chain, like I've talked about all along, you are the supply chain for this holiday season. You guys have inventory when the traditional stores do not. Okay, so they're sitting on $5 billion worth of inventory. instead of 6.3. That is going to affect their sales. It's not all good just cash flow and inventory management. When you divide it among the number of stores they have and everything else, they have less inventory and they have less of the good stuff to go around. So that is a supply chain issue that you likely won't see fixed till sometime at the end of the first or second quarter next year, where their inventory levels are higher. So that's just something to keep in mind, and that's going to affect their future sales. Also, something that they are getting into that is going to affect businesses out there that sell decor is they are planning to launch online sales on the Home Goods website next year. Okay, with Home Goods fueling their growth. Okay, sales up 15% in Home Goods at Home Goods, on Home Goods. Okay, 15% on the year. They are investing in bringing their home decor inventory online and making that available online for purchase. So that'll be interesting next year to see how that flows or how that rolls out. Whether because of the way they do inventory assortment, they didn't talk about it in their report to Wall Street, but I'm assuming they're going to try to turn their stores into shipping centers because they don't hold a lot of the same stuff available at the warehouse. It's either that or they're going to hold stuff specifically back for online, or only put stuff that they have back stock of at the warehouse, which isn't a lot because they distribute it out to the stores and then the stores sell it. So that's going to be a very interesting situation to see how they manage that next year. They didn't set an exact timeline, that it would be early or late next year or when next year they were going to go online with Home Goods selling online, but they did say that it will be next year, and that's a big shift for them because part of their thrill of the hunt has been keeping all the stuff in their stores. But they must see how we're doing with online, how the resale industry is doing it with one-off merchandise and getting their merchandise online and taking something out of our playbook. So, just something to keep an eye on, folks, as we move forward with things into next year. Okay, my last thing for you tonight is to talk about merchant processing fees, credit card fees that you pay to your merchant service provider, whoever they are. It doesn't, and I'm not dealing with, one provider is better than another. There is the priority payments, is the NARTS preferred provider, but there's lots of great providers out there. There's a lot of ones that are directly affiliated with the software companies that do a great job. I'm not talking specific vendor tonight, okay? But what I do want you to know, and I do want you to keep track of, is one of the figures that I track every month is my effective rate. When you shop your credit card business, you'll hear, "I'll get your rate down to this," or "You'll pay that," or it's a bunch of hullabalooey. I'm telling you. It is incredibly confusing. You send them your statement and they say, you're going to save so much money, and it sounds great, and then you sign and you forget it. Okay, you may look at it the first month and say, well, I think it's cheaper than mine last month, but you look at those statements and interchange fees and this fee and that fee and statement fees and blah, 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 and you don't know what the heck you're paying. You don't know what the heck you're paying by the time you're done. So what I always encourage businesses to do is look at your effective rate. What is your effective rate? Okay, your effective rate is how much you spend. Now, hang on a second. I should probably grab the pink calculator to make my point here, because nothing makes the point like the pink calculator. All right, we've got the pink calculator here. So what you do is you take your total amount to get an effective rate for credit card processing, to figure out what your effective rate is. And if it can be variable, and that's okay. It just shouldn't vary. It shouldn't vary by huge shifts. Huge shifts. And it shouldn't have a huge swing to it. Unless your volume massive, your effective rate shouldn't even change that much unless it's going down because your volume's gone up. So to get your effective rate, you take your total credit card fees, the actual fees they charge you at the bottom of the statement, and you divide that into your total credit card sales for the month. So just for simple math, okay, let's say your credit card fees this month were $250 and you did $10,000 in credit card sales, okay? So 250 divided by $10,000 gives you 2.5%. That would be your effective rate. Okay, so that's your total fees paid, okay, divided by your credit card sales. So in this case, in my example this month, or this example I'm giving you, is $250 in fees and $10,000 in credit card sales. Gives you 2.5%. Okay, now if you tracked that every month, and I keep a little spreadsheet where I track it every month. So this month, let's say you're 2.5%. Next month you're 2.51. The month after that you're 2.48. You know, that's all in the same zone. If all of a sudden it jumped to 2.8 or 2.9, you got to start digging into the weeds to figure out what's going on and where that is. And sometimes there's some good reason for it, because if you have somebody, you don't control what somebody comes in and shops with. If they come in with a really expensive high-level rewards card, which we had somebody in 2 months ago, okay, buy a lot of furniture in September, okay, with us, and it was a really expensive rewards card. So that actually shifted, that added, you know, excess money to our statement. But that's an outlier. When I was looking at our October statement and I plugged it into my spreadsheet, I'm like, whoa, something's wrong here. This doesn't add up. And there were these extra fees on our statement this month. And so I called my credit card processing company and said, hey, something isn't adding up here. And they said, you're right. You should not have been charged that. Okay? And we will refund it. You should see it tomorrow or the next day back in your bank account. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the quickness, with them taking responsibility for their error. But it does take, but I would not, in the mess that is a credit card statement that you get every month, okay, in the mess of it, and in the busyness of running your business, I would not have caught that had I not kept that spreadsheet, okay, because I wouldn't have looked into the weeds of it. I'd be like, okay, they took a bunch of money out of my account again this month. That's the cost of doing business. But when it fluctuates, too much one direction or another, too much, too high or out of sync, okay, that doesn't make any sense, it's important to call them on it and say, hey, what's up here? So that's why it's important to understand what your effective rate is. It's also important as you compare, because it's the thing that so many people try to sell you on changing your credit cards, but understanding your true effective rate is incredibly important. So I encourage you all to look at your credit card statements, and if you haven't kept a sheet, take out the last few months. Look at the last few months of statements, or look from now forward. Because mistakes do happen. Even with great companies, mistakes happen. People are human. Um, and this was significant. I don't use Square because if you do any volume of business, you can do better than Square, Rose. I don't use Square. And you're right, Square has the same plus now they have a per swipe fee. Um, but if you're doing any volume of business, Square is good when you're really, really small, okay, incredibly small. But as soon as you start doing any consistent volume, you can get a better deal. I can make that spreadsheet available, Kelly. It's nothing fancy. I can make that spreadsheet. I can post that in Resale Strong for you. It's nothing fancy. I have it by year, so I can go back at any given time at any given year and look at it. And so I track it by location for me, by month, and then I have a cumulative in the spreadsheet, that levels it out across all locations. So, but I can put that spreadsheet out there, and all you have to do is plug two numbers into it, and it gives you the rate. Hey Dana, how are you? Great to have you here. But yeah, I mean, I know a lot of the other consignment groups talk about Square. Square's easy. They approve everybody. Everybody can do it. There's no business. They take non-established businesses, but as soon as you do any volume, you can do better than Square. And the details of it and understanding effective rate and everything aren't really described, but Square owns it for their simplified billing. Is why people understand it. And I agree with it, Rose, but you can probably cut that cost some and make things easier on you. So I do like that. But it is important to do and look at on a regular basis. It's just really important because you can do because you catch mistakes like that. You see when something is out of whack, in things, and it's not insignificant. The mistake is, well, I'm a big believer in if you watch the pennies, the nickels take care of themselves. And so, if I were to drop this money on the table here, you guys would pick it up. You guys would fight me for it. Well, actually, my peanut gallery would fight you. So. They would come fighting for you. So that is watch your dollars here, folks. Watch your pennies, watch your nickels, watch your dollars. It does add up. It does add up, and happens before you know it. So that is what I want to cover. Got a busy day tomorrow. I've got the Lieutenant Governor of Massachusetts tomorrow. I've got the retail doctor. And I've got the Massachusetts Treasury tomorrow. I'm getting around tomorrow. So lots of stuff going on tomorrow. But it'll be a good day, and it's one day closer to my replacement printer. So, and that story at the beginning of the show. So, lots of good stuff there. And I'm feeling like I'm getting closer to a Kringle. This video and everything we talk about here, even that spreadsheet, once I get it up there, okay. Goes over to nerds.org/resalestrong by noon the very next day. Noon, I tell you. Noon the very next day it's over there. We get it over there by noon the very next day. Yeah, Retail Doctor is great. He's just a good, he's a smart guy. I've always enjoyed him. I was honored to be on his program earlier this year. Truly an honor. Everything is over there and organized at narts.org/resalestrong, so you can find it, keep you organized, make it all easy to find everything that I post. And a link to these videos on the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store. It's all over there. You can find it all right there for you, nice and easy. You can, on the YouTube channel, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you click that bell so you know when a new one drops. I am here every night at More 8 Than Ish, live here in the NARTS private Facebook group every night. But if you or anybody you know has got a question in between, you just email me. Email me at Neil, N-E-I-L, at ECIstores.com. N-E-I-L at ECIstores.com. Hey, Vina snuck in here. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book's how we start it. If you were like Vina and not here at the beginning, our good morning tonight on page 174 is good morning. It's okay to let your mind drift. Whoa! Cool drift, kid. Our good night tonight is good night. So glad we're drift compatible. There's your graphics, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah, possibly an inauguration, who knows? Someplace where there's a Kringle. Oh, there's one here. We will party again, we will party in person, and when we do, I will be there with you. Until tomorrow at More 8 Than Ish. More 8 Than Ish. Know that you and you, but most especially you, yes you, I see you hiding out there in the back row. You're not alone running this store. It's time for dessert, everybody. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.